Hey, everybody, welcome to the Addiction Unlimited podcast, where you get to learn everything you want to know about addiction and recovery. I'm your host, Angela Pugh, co-founder of Kansas City Recovery, life coach, and recovering alcoholic. To learn more about me, you can listen to episode 0 on your podcast app or find us on the web at addictionunlimited.com. Hello, my friend. Welcome back to another episode of the Addiction Unlimited podcast. I'm your coach, Angela Pugh. We all know the saying, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. And I get it. Lemons are sour and difficult to eat on their own, but if you add some water and sugar, all of a sudden you've got something sweet and refreshing. Take a challenge and make something good out of it. But sometimes life hurls lemons at you so hard they splatter when they hit. And when they splatter, ain't no one making lemonade out of that. So what do you do when you look at your life and realize you're barely surviving? When you feel like you're in a perpetual state of just putting one foot in front of the other, keeping your head above water, stuck full on in survival mode? Well, I'm not going to pretend to have all the answers, but I am going to share with you some of the best tools that have helped me over the years. And if you've been following me for a while, you know I have literally made almost every mistake there is to make. I have screwed up everything and have had to dig my way out of it all by myself. And it is true that profound transformation often comes from difficulties and challenges and pain. It's also true that profound transformation takes a long time. And if you're anything like me, you want everything yesterday. If you feel like life is throwing you more than your share of lemons and you want some relief right the F now, then this episode is for you, my friend. And before we dive right into this topic, I want to remind you also that Dry January Bootcamp is coming up. I do this every January. It's incredible. It's a private Facebook group, a workbook where you get to learn some really important tools to maintain your sobriety. If you're struggling to get any length of sobriety, if you're finding yourself back at day one, especially through this holiday season, that Dry January Bootcamp, it's going to be the perfect Kickstarter for the new year. Get in the Addiction Unlimited Facebook group. That's where I'll put all the announcements, the sign up, everything is going to be happening in this next week. So jump in the Addiction Unlimited Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Addiction Unlimited. And that's where you'll find all the information for the Dry January Bootcamp. It's 30 days of sobriety nourishment to start your new year off right. So if you've been struggling, jump in there and do this bootcamp with me. It's really fun. Okay, now let's get into this topic of life throwing you lemons. The first thing I want to dig into here is something that is challenging, but also necessary in life overall, and that's mindset. You hear about mindset, you read about it everywhere. There are thousands of blogs and articles and podcasts about mindset and the importance of it. And I hear a lot of you in my Facebook group and my clients talk about using CBT skills, cognitive behavioral therapy, and how well they work. And those are also mindset strategies. So mindset isn't something weird and elusive, right? It really is something that you're practicing all day, every day. It's also one of the very few things that you have control over. Your thoughts, how you view situations and people in the world. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you positive thinking will fix all your problems, but I will tell you with certainty that it can remove a good portion of your suffering. I love that Buddha quote that pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. And that's exactly what this is about. This whole episode, pain, you're going to have pain. Life is going to throw you lemons. There is no way around that. But you don't have to suffer and be miserable through all of it. Mindset and changing your mindset, shifting from an overall negative outlook on life to a more positive and uplifting one, is something that takes practice. It doesn't happen quickly. And for some people, it's hard. That only means it's more necessary. We don't have any control over the lemons that life will throw, whether it's addiction, illness, COVID shutting down the world, aging parents, kid problems, significant others not behaving the way you want them to, boss problems, money problems, and a million other things that we will all deal with over the course of our lives. We can't control any of that stuff. But what you have full control of are your thoughts and how you internalize the struggles and how you talk yourself through them. And then what actions you take to make sure you stay on track. So, mindset is huge. And you may have heard me talk about this before. I was so negative, you guys. When I was unhealthy, I was such a negative human being about everything. Everything out of my mouth was a negative thought. It either started with, I hate it when that happens. I hate it when they do that. I hate it when people do that. I hate, or I don't like it, or whatever. Every single thing that came out of my mouth was negative. And when I realized that about myself, which is so weird that it took me so long to realize it, but it's like I heard myself and I was really grossed out. I was like, wow, that's not the energy that people want to be around. Like people are probably walking away from me going, oh my God, like she's really hard to be around. Like that's not the effect I want to have on people around me. I don't want to be a negative Nelly and Debbie Downer and all the other things you can think of. Like that's not who I want to be as a human being. So the first thing I did to start shifting my mindset to be a little more positive is when I would catch myself saying something negative or having a negative thought, I would make myself say 3 positive things. And over the course of time, I just naturally shifted to the more positive things. I was really grossed out by being a negative person. I was so unhappy when I realized that's who I was being in the world. I was very highly motivated to change it. So that's what I did. 3 positive things. Every time there was a negative thought or something negative came out of my mouth, I forced myself to say 3 positive things in my head, not necessarily out loud, just in my head. And that's how I started to shift that mindset. That was just step 1. This has been years of practice. But if you find yourself being a super negative person, this is a great place to start. 3 positive things. The next thing I want to touch on is expectations. This was life-changing for me when I started to understand my expectations and how I had expectations on everything and everyone in every situation. And then when things didn't go my way and it didn't meet my expectations in my head, then I was mad. There's also this weird underlying current where it seems like there's an expectation that life be good and easy. I don't know where that comes from because there is zero proof of that, right? We have proof to the contrary that life is always challenging. But we have this expectation that things should be good and should be easy. And then we're mad when it's not good and easy. The other thing that happens is we personalize it, like it's a personal attack on us as individuals. I can't believe this is happening to me. It's not only happening to you. This isn't personal. This is just life. So if you can adjust the expectations to understand there will always be lemons, don't expect to have a lemon-free day of your life, right? There will always be lemons. Then we don't get so mad about it, right? That gives you a little flexibility. When the lemons come, you're like, oh, okay, there they are. Okay, great. There's some adversity. I see it. There's a challenge to overcome today. Fantastic. It really isn't that big of a deal. It is the nature of life to be difficult. It's not personal. It's not only happening to you. Your struggles and adversities are not any worse than anyone else's. They may be at this particular moment in your life, you may be facing some really hugely challenging things. And maybe at this particular moment in life, I'm not facing hugely challenging things. That doesn't mean I'm not going to get my turn. Or it doesn't mean that I didn't just come out of hugely challenging things, right? So Nobody gets it any worse than anybody else. I think it's pretty evenly distributed, right? The challenges and adversity. So just adjust your expectations to understand, okay, there's going to be a curveball coming my way, and that's okay. We don't have to judge it as good or bad or, oh, this is terrible. I can't believe this is happening. This is awful. I can't believe I'm being faced with this. I can't believe I have to deal with this. We don't have to put all those judgments on it like it's such a terrible thing. It's just life. Take it in, go, okay, here we are. Here's the lemon. Here's the curveball. What are we going to do about it? Let's figure out some solutions. Now, here's what I really want to dig into in this episode, because this is about how do you stay on track when life throws you lemons. And the truth of the matter is, you have to have a foundation. If you are not building a solid foundation for yourself and your life, a foundation of a better mindset, healthier mindset, managing those expectations so it doesn't feel so overwhelming when something comes at you, and a foundation of coping skills. You have to build a foundation to be able to cope with your life. And this is really where almost everybody lacks. We don't take the time to build a foundation of coping skills. So, what do you think is going to happen if you're sitting in your life and you don't have any coping skills? Which those of us with addiction for sure struggle with coping skills in general, right? It's why we reach for substance to cope with feelings. So, we're already challenged in that regard, especially early in sobriety, or if you're still in active addiction, zero coping skills. So, if you're sitting in your life, you have no coping skills, you're not taking the time to figure out coping skills and learn them and practice them, because they do take practice, then how do you expect to deal with the lemons in life if you have zero foundation to stand on? The truth is, how you deal with your daily life is exactly how you'll deal with lemons when they're thrown at you. So the key here is to always be working on your foundation. You have to consistently be putting time and energy into building that foundation. And what that means is, are you taking time to refill your tank? What I mean by that is, you're out in life and you're giving energy out all day, every day. Everything is sucking out your energy. Your family, your frustrations, your job, you're tired, right? Everything is taking your energy. And if you aren't making a conscious effort to replenish your energy, you've got nothing to give. You've got no foundation to stand on. Most people are burning the candle at both ends 24/7 for years at a time, not refilling their energy stores, not taking care of themselves. And then you wonder why you aren't coping well and thriving. You don't have a foundation. So here are the questions I want you to ask yourself, and this is where you start building your foundation. Here's the questions. 1, what is your support system? 2, how are you refilling your tank, refilling your energy? Where are you getting laughs? You've heard the saying, laughter is the best medicine. Where are you getting laughs? Who are you connecting with? What are you doing for your body and brain? These are questions, these are things that we should be paying attention to on a daily basis. You can't hit it out of the park on every single one of them every single day. Nobody's saying that. Progress, not perfection. But you have to be paying attention if you want to deal with the lemons and the curveballs. You have to have a foundation to stand on. When you build that foundation, not only are you getting through your daily life better, but now you have a foundation to stand on that's strong to get through the big things in life better. If you aren't consistently working on your mindset, your expectations, building your foundation, then life will continue to feel heavy and difficult and burdensome. But if you start doing some things, if you start managing your time differently and building in some things to replenish yourself and create that foundation, then life feels much simpler and you're able to trust yourself more to handle big situations, right? And the small ones. And that's what I'm saying again. How you deal with your daily life and daily challenges is exactly the same as how you're going to deal with the big ones. Another piece I want to touch on here, because something we really struggle with is trusting ourselves. You have to trust yourself to be able to get through things, right? This is a piece of mindset also. If you are continually playing messages in your head about how you're not good enough or you can't do it or you're lacking something that makes you incapable of achieving something, if those are the messages you're playing in your head, of course you're not going to thrive. So again, that mindset, if that's how you are in your head, that's the first place I want you to start. And I want you to make a commitment to it. And being committed to something means it becomes a priority. And that means that you're going to have to sacrifice other things in order to take care of your priority because you've committed to it. And that might mean you sacrifice an hour of television because you want to do an hour of something healthy. It might mean you sacrifice 30 minutes of sleep because this is a priority for you and you want to put some conscious time into it. And that could be getting up 30 minutes earlier, or it could be the last 30 minutes before you shut your eyes and go to sleep. But when you make something a priority and you are committed to it, that means other things are going to get pushed aside. That's what commitment is. It's doing it whether you want to or not. And it's being committed to doing it and creating the time and space to do it because it's a priority to you. So if you're giving yourself all the crazy negative messages, that's step one, start there. You have to start shifting all of that talk in your head. And you can do this a million ways. Go on Google or YouTube and search it. Change my mindset. Change from a negative mindset to a positive mindset. Positive affirmations, whatever you want to do. You will find a million results and you can figure out how to fit it into your day. But that's where I want you to start if that's your issue. You are not expected to have all the answers. What I want you to believe in yourself is that you have the capability of finding the answers. And all that means is that you can Google search and YouTube search to find whatever answers you're looking for. It also means that you have people to reach out to and you have mentors and support people that you can ask, hey, how would you navigate this situation? How have you gotten through these things before? Trusting yourself doesn't mean that you have all the answers. It means that you have the tools to find the answers. We're not born knowing how to deal with every circumstance life is going to throw our way, but you are born with the tenacity and resilience and the inner strength to find the answers that you need, especially now with the internet when everything on the planet literally is at your fingertips in a matter of seconds. There's no excuses here, people. You can find anything you want to find. You can learn anything you need to learn. You can find any answer you're looking for. Now, let's recap these questions that I want you to be thinking about for your foundation, okay? What's your support system? Do you have a support system? If the answer is no, go get one. You have to have a support system. How are you refilling your tank and refilling your energy stores? You're giving your energy out all day long everywhere. How are you replenishing that? Where are you getting laughs? Who are you connecting with? Who are your close friends or mentors, coaches, whoever you have in your life? Who are you connecting with? Who are the people that you're really sharing yourself with and sharing how you feel and your daily struggles and your fears and your anxieties? Who are you connecting with? And what are you doing for your body and brain? Are you getting movement? Are you drinking water? Are you doing things to nourish your body and brain? You guys got to be together forever. Right? That's my responsibility to take care of my body and my brain. If I want to get through life, I've got to be strong, right? I need to depend on my body and my brain when I feel like I can't depend on myself. Those things can't give up. So we need to take care of those things. that's where you focus, right? I've just given you a lot of things to think about in this episode and a lot of places that you can start doing some really good, powerful work right now. And this is how you stay on track even when life throws you lemons. You have to build that foundation. You have to have a good starting point. This will help everything in your life, your daily life, the ins and outs, ups and downs, kids, spouses, partners, bosses, jobs, everything. This is about your foundation. And if you want to be successful in long-term sobriety and in life, you have to have this foundation. I've given you a lot to think about. Don't forget about the Dry January boot camp too. If you want to join me for that, that's going to be starting here pretty soon. Get in the Facebook group and I'll give you all the information about that. Okay, listen, you guys, lemons are inevitable. How you choose to deal with them is really what defines your journey. Getting your expectations in line, knowing that lemons are a part of the deal. That's the first step to relief, is just knowing this is just part of the deal. It's not about you. It's not that you're cursed. It's not that you're worse than anybody else. It's just part of the deal. Making sure you're consistently working on your foundation to keep it strong. That's what will give you the stability to handle the challenges. And that's when you can relax a bit and know you have the tools you need, the coping skills necessary, and that you're capable of handling anything that comes your way. Okay, remember, life's lemons are just an opportunity for you to grow and transform into the next better version of yourself. And that's why I want you to be committed to this work and be committed to feeling better and making yourself stronger, because you're unlimited in who you can be and what you can achieve in this life. And I want you to have it all. So this is where we start. I hope you're having a fantastic week and a beautiful holiday season. I'll see you next week.
You've reached the end of another great episode of the Addiction Unlimited podcast. Candid and honest conversation about addiction and recovery. Be sure to visit us at addictionunlimited.com to join the conversation and access show notes and links to everything we talked about. Love this episode? Please take 30 seconds to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes to help us improve and give you the information you want. Thanks for listening. See you next week.